You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. After Bryce Underwood, actually, I believe it was a little before Bryce Underwood decommitted. Might have been right after Bryce Underwood decommitted. Brian Kelly said point blank when he was asked about the transfer portal. Well, don't listen to me. Listen to Brian Kelly.
We'll be very aggressive. I think everybody that's followed us knows that we weren't very aggressive in the transfer portal. We put together a defensive line using minimal resources. We've really put ourselves in a position, and I'll use this term
okay, I don't need more. That's it. I don't really need any more of that. Can I just say like the very first part of that again? Just like the very, very first part about it when Brian Kelly was asked about the transfer portal?
We'll be very aggressive.
Okay, we'll be very aggressive. That's really all I needed. One of my favorite sayings, say it all the time here. You've heard me say it plenty. You probably hear me say it so much. You hate hearing me say it so much. Actions speak louder than words. Well, if actions speak louder than words, then Brian Kelly's actions are screaming right now. Oh, LSU's going to be aggressive in the portal? Yeah. And it's not the numbers. As of this very moment, it's 3:04 p.m. Central Time on Monday, December the 16th. As of this very moment, LSU has 7 transfers committed or signed. As of this very moment. There's more to come, too. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. Let me illustrate. 1 year ago, when LSU added 9 transfers, which again is right around what Brian Kelly said. They want to sign 25 to 30 high school guys and around 10 transfers. But a year ago, the highest ranked transfer that LSU got was C.J. Daniels. He was number 101 in the On3 transfer rankings. They did not have a single transfer inside the top 100. Daniels was 101. Jordan Gilbert was 146. A.J. Swan was 256. Those were your 3 highest rated transfer additions a year ago. You got that? LSU presently has 7 transfer portal additions. All 7 are inside of the top 150. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And 4 of them rank higher than your highest ranked player a year ago. Berrien Brown's 14th. Braylon Moore is not committed yet. The center out of Virginia Tech, not publicly committed, let me say that. But he's number 34. Jakeem Jackson out of Florida, 73. Michael Van Buren from Mississippi State, 91. And oh, by the way, you just added Mansoor Delane, a cornerback from Virginia Tech, minutes before we came on air. He's number 115, one spot ahead of Jack Pyburn, who you added earlier Monday from Florida, who's number 116. Bauer Sharp, the tight end from Oklahoma, is 122. And Jamari Butler, the defensive end from Nebraska, is 146. Y'all, every one of the additions so far are all inside of the top 150 overall. Let me start, and I'll give you a quick portal roundup from everything that you might have missed over the weekend. But let me start with the most immediate one. Mansoor Delane, literally just here inside of the last half hour, committed to LSU. He's from Virginia Tech. He was a freshman All-America back in 2022 and started the last 2 seasons. So in 3 years in Blacksburg, he played in 33 games with 29 starts. And this year as a junior, had 54 tackles, 2 interceptions. He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining. And he played his true freshman season, was a freshman All-America back in 2022, and then was a starter the last 2 seasons. So we know at cornerback, you've lost Zy Alexander, who was your best guy. You got Ashton Stamps coming back. Now you've added Jakeem Jackson, Mansoor Delane, and you're bringing in DJ Pickett, 5-star number 1 cornerback in the country. Does that look more like what LSU's secondary has looked like when Corey Raymond had those dudes as a revolving door to the NFL? Yeah. Brian Kelly said it point blank. They weren't aggressive enough last year in the portal. They added bodies. They didn't add starters. They didn't add impact guys. And I told you on a week and a half ago, I sat in this chair and I said, while everybody's melting about Bryce Underwood and Jakeem Stewart and Cade Phillips, I said to you, talk to me in a month. You finished with a top 10 class. You needed to retain your roster and see who you got out of the portal. Well, you finished with a top 10 class. You got Garrett Nussmeier coming back. And so far, so good out of the portal. Let's get a quick overview of what LSU has done to this point in the transfer portal. So, on Friday, we talked about it. Bauer Sharp, the tight end from Oklahoma, was the first to jump in the class. He was Oklahoma's leading receiver this past season. Brian Kelly, one of the things that I loved is Brian Kelly, when he was talking about Bauer Sharp, because when Brian Kelly met with reporters on Friday, he gave an update on Bauer Sharp. And while certainly a lot of people were excited about his pass-catching ability, the thing Kelly mentioned over and over again was the physicality, the ability to pull, to run block. He is an inline blocker, and he is a day one impact plug-and-play starter replacing Mason Taylor. Barian Brown's another one that we were anticipating who came in over the weekend. Former 5-star. He was the number 2 wide receiver in the country in 2022. He was a true freshman All-American in 2022 at Kentucky. Not only is Barian Brown a great pass catcher, he is also a dynamic kick returner. In 3 years in Lexington, he has returned 5 kickoffs for touchdowns. He was a return specialist, first-team All-American in 2023. Kentucky was one of the worst pass offenses in college football this year. He was looking for the escape hatch, as was Dane Key. Barian Brown lands in Baton Rouge. We just mentioned Jakeem Jackson, 6-foot, 190-pounder out of Florida. He signed with Corey Raymond in the class of 2023. He was the number 3 overall cornerback in America in the class of 2023. Played in every game as a freshman. Was the starting cornerback this season in 2024. Played in just 2 games, was injured, lost for the season, and now is transferring into LSU. He will be certainly competing to be a day one starter. And by the way, just think about how different a feel that is. I'm talking about a guy that was a top 5 cornerback in the country starting at Florida, and I'm telling you he's going to be competing to be a starter because you've added Mansoor Delane, and you've got DJ Pickett coming in, and Ashton Stamps coming back. Jamari Butler out of Nebraska, another guy we talked about late last week when he was taking his visit to LSU, was also considering Texas A&M. 6'5", 260-pounder. He's played in 37 career games with 16 starts. His great season was 2 years ago in 2023. 8.5 TFLs, 5.5 sacks. You're talking about a full grown-up in Jamari Butler, who at 6'5", 260 pounds is going to be playing a 6th collegiate season. Think of him as a replacement for Savion Jones, that big run-stuffing edge to replace Savion Jones in 2025. Michael Van Buren, a quarterback out of Mississippi State. He was a 4-star, signed with the Bulldogs to play for Jeff Lebby. He was supposed to be the backup in 2024, but Blake Shapen, the starter, was injured, lost for the season. Van Buren ended up playing in 9 games, starting 7 times. He ended up throwing for just under 2,000 yards, 11 touchdowns, ran for another 5 scores. He's Garrett Nussmeier's backup in 2025 and will compete to be the starter in 2026. And then earlier Monday, Jack Pyburn jumped in the boat as well. 6'3", 265. He was the second leading tackler on Florida's team in 2024 with 60 tackles. He'll be entering his 4th collegiate season. He's played in 29 career games. Not much of a pass rusher, but another guy that is very stout against the run on the defensive line. That's 7 already, and we could still expect more, as we mentioned, from Braylon Moore, the center from Virginia Tech, who is expected to pop at any minute, and then also Nick Anderson, the wide receiver from Oklahoma, who missed this entire season. He is the number 10 overall player in the portal. There are projections for Nick Anderson to land at LSU. We do not have anything final there, but when it comes, we'll certainly talk about it Brian Kelly said they were going to be aggressive. I told you, talk to me in a month. Well, it's been 10 days, 11 days, 12 days? I don't math. How much better do you feel today than you did when you woke up on Wednesday morning of signing day with Bryce Underwood going to Michigan, Cade Phillips flipping to Texas, and Jakeem Stewart going to USC? How much better do you feel today? Told you, talk to me in a month. You still got 3 weeks to go. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.